Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
on the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us. And here we are, indeed. I'm glassesless again today for the second day in a row, but it is what it is. And we're here, and nonetheless, we're going to have a great show. It is Friday, so the weekend is here, and it is March the 8th, 2024. It's rolling on. We're 3 months in to the new year, which a lot of people are anticipating. A lot of changes happening in 2024 around the world. And I can see that. It's already kind of setting itself up for such. Joe Biden gave his State of the Union address last night, which was very interesting. If you had a chance to see it or parts of it, he is the president of the United States of America. And if that speech doesn't tell you a few things about the State of the Union, I don't know what will. So I'll just leave that at that. We got a great show planned for you. We got weather, sports, news headlines from local news headlines, a few things. The speed cameras are going to be operational this one day ago from the Sudbury Star. I kind of missed it yesterday. We could have talked about it yesterday. It was breaking kind of thing. We were wondering when these cameras were going to be operational, but we have a little less than 2 weeks before they are going to be. 6 locations have been chosen to start issuing you tickets automatically as you pass through these particular speed trap areas. So you'll want to pay attention if you haven't been aware of that. You live in Sudbury, or you're going to be driving in Sudbury. Then you also want to know where they're going to be, because it's like if you go to another city and you're not aware that they have speed cameras and where they are, you would get a ticket just because you weren't aware that they had these. And I'm sure that's going to happen to a lot of people traveling through Sudbury. And there's going to be a lot of not too happy people, but it's not about people being happy. It's about, I don't know. I don't think it's about safety really, because there's no studies that show that there's anything to do with it's going to be safer to compare it to, right? Right now I'm doing data analysis, data collection, stats in my master's that I'm taking. And you need something to begin with. Like you need to begin with, okay, well, it's so safe right now. Like that's the percentage of safety on this particular road is, it's terrible. It's like 1 out of every 100 drivers gets in an accident. And out of those, out of every 100,000 drivers that one person gets in an accident, out of that one person, it's like 0.0000001% of them ends up with an injury, and 0.00000000001 ends up in a fatality. So that's where you start. You start with the numbers, right? And then you say, okay, how are we going to make that safer? Because that was the term that was used for these speed cameras, that it was going to make Sudbury safer. So how unsafe is it now? We need to know, right? But we don't know these statistics. It's not available. We don't, we just know that it's dangerous. Imagine that. We just know it's dangerous. So we need to make it safer. And we need to issue you tickets to make it safer. And that's the only way it's going to happen. So And we'll make money too, by the way, on this stuff as well. So that's just a side note. Yeah, so we got a great show planned for you today. Let's dive right in with some weather. We have a Nick Gervais who's getting ready. She had a late night. She texted me saying she's going to be a little bit late coming on the show, but we can get things started anyways, and we will be back right after the weather. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show, I promise, or your money back. Okay, yes. And as promised, we do have weather here, and I got the weather up on the screen. And here we go. It's got the satellite image for now because I was able to get today. Don't tell me there's a weather statement. Is that even possible? There's a weather statement. It didn't look like any kind of weather statement would happen yesterday, but we have one today. Surprise, surprise. I'm surprised along with you in real time. -2 degrees. Feels like -7. It's partly cloudy. There is a special weather statement for Greater Sudbury and vicinity. Significant rainfall possible tonight through Saturday. The frozen ground has a reduced ability to absorb said rainfall. So there is a hazard, and it could be total amounts of 20 to 30 millimeters with locally higher amounts possible. The highest rainfall amounts are expected from Manitoulin Island to the Sudbury and North Bay areas. Timing would be tonight through Saturday. So rain progresses northeastward through this evening. Rain will taper and may transition to snow from west to east on Saturday. Snow could linger into Sunday, particularly for Greater Sudbury. And eastward, rainfall warnings may be required for some regions as the event approaches. Snow may be primary precipitation. We might get snow over higher terrain from north of Elliott Lake, northwest of Sudbury, where accumulation is expected. Snowfall amounts 10 centimeters are likely in those areas. Localized flooding in low-lying areas is also possible. And there you have it. That is our weather statement for today. And let's just hope it passes us by. Let's just hope it's one of those things that just doesn't happen. And it could have happened, but it didn't. Let's just hope. So anyways, it is what it is. Mainly sunny today, however, then the increasing cloudiness will come in. I thought it was supposed to be sunny all day. That's what it said yesterday. It's supposed to be sunny all day. But now it's mainly sunny, increasing cloudiness this morning. So it'll be cloudy today, not sunny. Wind chill will be -8 this morning. And then tonight, cloudy, 40% chance of showers like we talked about with all that rain. It's a weather statement. Rainfall 5 to 10 millimeters. And then snowfall 5 to centimeters, in higher terrain. Saturday, rain, except snow over higher terrain. Rainfall amount 10 to 20 millimeters, except snowfall 5 centimeters in higher terrain. I'm just reading this stuff. That's all I'm doing. And the wind will be 20 kilometers, gusting to 40, high of +4. And look at your 6-day forecast. Tomorrow, rain +4. Sunday, periods of snow +1. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud, 6, 8, and 7 degrees in the pluses. No sun anymore. Like there's no just sunny days like it said it would. It's like said it wouldn't be anymore. That was just an anomaly. We had 2 sunny days in a row, like for the first time in I don't know how long, way back, 3 weeks ago or so. Thursday, it's a 30% chance of showers, high of +5. So you got a little bit of a mixed bag here. And all in the pluses anyways for the next 6 days. Brings us to March 14th. Look at your satellite here. So I guess this was taken at 1:30 a.m. And I'm not sure which one of these developments of clouds are the ones that are going to bring all this rain they're talking about, but it looks like it might come all the way from Western Ontario, Manitoba, Minnesota area on its way to us. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back with a little bit of sports, news headlines, and Nick Gervais should be joining us. We'll see, and we'll have a deep dive today, I think, into them. The city council has to fill the 2 councillor positions, so we'll check in with that, along with these speed cameras are going to be in use by March the 22nd here in Greater Sudbury. Yay! We'll be back right after this. Your Sudbury Wolves will be in action tonight at the Sudbury Community Arena. They will be facing the Windsor Spitfires. The game will begin at 7:05 p.m. It will be bobblehead night, so you'll want to get out there and get a bobblehead of one of your favorite Sudbury Wolves players. And enough said on that one. Like, if that isn't enough to get you out to the game, I don't know what is, but it'll be packed. There's no doubt about it. Depending if the rain is beginning by then, I don't think that's going to prohibit anybody from getting to the game tonight. I think it's going to start after that anyways. So Windsor, Sudbury tonight, 7:05 Sudbury Community Arena. And then tomorrow, if you're interested in going to a All-Star game, the Basketball Super League will be having their All-Star game right here in Sudbury. So you can get out tickets as low as $15 for that. It should be a great time. If you've never been to an All-Star game before, Sudbury should put on a great show. If I know who's involved in doing it, they've been doing really well at putting on an entertaining event along with sports these days. So get out, support the Sudbury 5, the Basketball Super League, and just have a great time. Bring your family. It's family friendly, family fun. That's your Sudbury Sports, brought to you by SudburySports.ca, which aggregates on Sudbury.news, which is a local news aggregator. We'll be back with more news headlines, your comments, and hopefully Nick Gervais as well will be joining us today right after this. Okay, yes, we are back, and we do have quite a few people on today. So thanks for being with us. We are live on youtube.com/Sudbury News, facebook.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, all of those wonderful things. On our social medias, we're also on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram, Sudbury.news on Instagram, and also on our website, Sudbury.news, which I have also said is a news aggregator. All of your local news comes into one convenient location where you can, because we're not allowed anymore to get our news on Facebook or Instagram, thanks to government policies, which, from our co-emperors, if you will, our communist coalition of 2 leaders we didn't vote for running the country as a majority. So anyways, now we can't share news. Many reporters are losing their jobs, and media is in a crisis. Everything's a crisis these days, right? So journalism is in a crisis, especially in Canada. And for our American friends or those listening abroad, yes, you can't even share news articles from Canada, in Canada, on Facebook or Instagram, or you can't even share international news on Facebook or Instagram. So ask yourself, where do you get a lot of your news, right? It's very simple. Facebook has made it simple, as it should be. That's the whole idea of a Facebook in the first place. Social media, to be social, to share with each other. And what better to share when a news story breaks? It's very quick to get it out there. And one of the quickest ways was on Facebook, because you're connected with all of your friends and relatives, and you can easily share something and news gets around quickly. But I guess our government had other things in mind and wanted to get in there and help. And what ended up with their helping was they prohibited the sharing of any news whatsoever on those two platforms, which there's a lot of news being shared on them. So I know, and Nick looks like she's coming on here. We'll let her get her mic and everything set up for a second as we just welcome everyone onto the show this morning. So good morning, Monique from Sudbury, smiley emoji. Judy, good morning. Jerome, good Friday morning. Marianne, good morning from Barry, liked and shared as usual. And David, he's on this morning. Take care and stay safe. Same to you, David. Hope you're doing well these days. Denise, good morning. Blessings from Espanola, Victoria. Good morning, everyone. Smiley sunshine emoji. Liette, good morning from Collingwood. Belinda, good morning to you as well. You don't have a soul. You have a... Sorry. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. And how beautiful you were created. That is 100% true. Wow. And with that, I guess I'll bring on a Nick too, so she can join me in welcoming everybody, and want to say good morning to you as well, Nick, at the same time.
Good morning.
So you had a late night last night, I hear, you told me?
I did. I usually go to bed around 10, and it was 3 a.m.
Wow.
I had lots of conversations with friends in the States. They're 2 hours behind. One of my friends ended up in...
Wow, you just got cut right off all of a sudden. You said one of my friends, and then it just cut right off your sound, so I don't know.
So weird.
There you go. You're back.
I wonder if I say cut. No, I won't mute myself. But yeah, one of my friends ended up in the hospital last night, so we ended up chatting. Last night, she's okay, but and then I just ended up being on on the reels.
Yeah, I know, that's terrible. Sometimes you lose track of time, and yeah.
And it was just, I'm obsessed with these animal reels.
Okay.
Where humans end up, oh, I found this little kitten. She was behind a dumpster, and the kitten was just like, and then eventually the kitten ends up being best friends, and it's all these animals.
That is hilarious.
I get hooked.
That's cool though. At the same time, nothing wrong with that. So I heard when Facebook went down the other day, there's all kinds of changes apparently that people are noticing that took place with their pages, and how things are done, and how things are shared, and how things are whatever. So
surprise.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what's going on there. Apparently there's different versions of the internet out there, and we're being kind of funneled to different ones. Like there's clones of different websites out there. You don't go to the actual website. You go to a clone of it, which is the website, but it's a clone of it. So that way they can kind of manipulate you more and stuff with what you can see and what you can't see at any given moment. It's not totally open, surprise, surprise. But yeah, it depends on your points of view and whatever. And when you said,
so it depends about like your credit score on what do you see from the website?
Well, yeah, I don't know about credit score, but depends on your previous views, who you are, what your political standings are.
So they give you a rating.
Oh, I think they're tracking. Yeah, kind of like a credit score.
I mean, it's
a social media score.
Sense, yeah, it's
social
kind
media
of like
score.
that. It's like this person likes just to shop. This person talks about
100%.
politics. This person.
Yep. And it's very elaborate. It's very layered, and AI is doing most of the work. And
AI is getting really scary, Aaron.
Yeah,
Did you see the videos they're coming out with where it's just like description of a woman walking in the field, and it's a sunny day, and it's just crazy. I want to know what site this is because I want to try it.
The AI? Yeah, I've thought of that too. Where are people getting these sites where you can just make videos, deep fakes or whatever, and just enter it in. It's obviously paid for, I would think, subscription based. But yeah, I was curious to that as well. So if anyone knows a link of any of these AI video websites or whatever, just send us a link. Maybe we can make some promotional videos for Sudbury News. We'll get celebrity endorsements and everything, I guess. I did see a Tucker Carlson deepfake the other day, but I was able to tell it was a deepfake right away. Like he's promoting Elon Musk as his kind of business partner, and they have this financial thing that they're working on that you should.
You see, there is an Elon Musk one that keeps
yeah
going around.
And the comments, so people were buying it, hook, line, and sinker, that this was real. Oh, Tucker Carlson, you're so whatever. Of course you're in bed with Elon Musk. And I'm like, and then people are like, that's fake. Come on. It's totally fake. So we're getting to the point in our society and within ourselves and in the evolution of humankind where it is going to come down to whether you can know truth or not.
Yep.
Either, yeah, you can be faked. So it's coming to it's coming to, what is the word, like
the crossroad
or whatever. It's getting as heightened as it can of the point where, you know, it's really coming down to it. It will be, you got to really know, like you got to know truth.
That's why,
in order
like,
to
most
sense
people,
it, you know,
I feel like I don't know anymore if it's most people, but I feel like the majority of people are going to get misled because they're going to see something that they think is going to be real and it's not real because people can't differentiate between truth.
And all you need is a group of people to agree on this fake video that it did something to them and revolt in some way. And now they've done an action that they can't take back. Like, let's say they all say, oh, because of this video, we all got to get together and burn something down, let's say. So they all get together and burn something down. Meanwhile, it was a fake video. But now that they all got together and burnt that down, the people, whatever it is that owned that building that they burnt down, now they're upset and they're going to do something back to someone else. So you can see where this is going.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard about the conspiracies, even about some shootings in the States that they actually never even happened.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I don't know. I'm open to it all. I've seen crisis actors. They're real. They show up everywhere. It looks like this Israeli woman is floating around and there's a selfie with her with a bunch of men in the background. But people are like, this is a woman that supposedly, you know, was abused
Abducted
5 times.
abused,
By men and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Anyways, crisis
I know.
actors is a real thing. So as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay. But anyway, what I'm saying is you don't need crisis actors anymore.
No, you have AI, right?
You have AI.
Yeah, you don't need people. You just type it into a website and you can make your fake videos. And
like the whole thing,
flags.
Israel and Hamas could be fake and we don't even know.
Yeah.
It's not there because there's people around, but really AI can create fake accounts.
Oh, I know.
AI can create fake accounts to comment on all these accounts and be like, my mother, and then create the mother and create all of that. So
create a whole world within a world, like a sim world, you know?
How are we supposed to know? Oh, and now there's AI girlfriends.
No, for sure. Why not? If I can't get a real one, might as well get one that loves me and dotes over me.
I know. I wonder if you go on Amazon and actually get the doll and then you pretend that's.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I guess that we'll save that one for
another time.
Another show. Marianne's saying, oh boy, I bet. Okay. So I just want to welcome Jerome on here. He sent me a video too that I wanted to talk about today. There's so much other things going on when you guys send me videos. Yeah. The ability, yes, car play all speed traps. If you've the ability, yes, CarPlay all speed traps. Do you know what that means?
No. Use CarPlay.
I don't know what use CarPlay. So that must be, so I'll have to look into that. Hefty fines. Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear the news. The speed cameras will be out and working March the 22nd. We got the word. So yeah. Can you imagine hackers hacking into that system that gives tickets away to people? And every single person gets a ticket and you weren't even driving there.
And
And
then
yet you owe the money, and then you have to
and the
prove you
commu
weren't.
yes, and the communist countries, like, you have to pay it. It doesn't matter. You have to
Yep.
pay it. And I'm like, I wasn't even in my car. I was in Toronto. Well,
And
prove it.
and they want all these cars that can automatically be shut down, and you
Did
get in
you
there.
hear
No, what?
about that girl? She was in her Tesla. She's someone's daughter, someone famous's
Famous.
daughter.
Yeah.
She got in her Tesla. The Tesla backed up into a pond and drowned her.
No.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
gonna find it. She's
Well,
someone who's supposed, someone that knows stuff,
yeah.
and literally people in the area are like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Anyways, it was underwater, and she was
Yeah.
locked into the car.
Oh, I know for sure. Yeah, we're going down this road that makes no sense. We're not
Go
ready
get
for
the
the
Teslas, guys, to save the world.
we're not ready for the technology that's there. It hasn't been worked out yet. It hasn't all the bugs, and we're just going, well, we got to get it right away. We got to get it right away because the planet's going to blow up. You know what I mean? Well, the buses that we have, so we're getting because the planet's going to blow up, are blowing up. Like I have videos of a city bus on fire, and everyone's like trying to escape out of
Right.
the electric city bus, which our city is gung ho on getting so many of them. Louise, good morning, everyone. Thank TGIF here. A lot of great emojis.
Okay. Sister-in-law of Senator McConnell's.
McConnell?
Yeah, McConnell.
Okay, wow. So, daughter of a senator.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, well, that'll hit home to that particular senator, obviously. And maybe that particular senator now will, if it hadn't before, will more than likely look into this issue a little deeper when it hits home like that, right? That's usually what happens. And good morning to Linda as well from River Valley. Thanks for being on. So many comments here. Keep your comments coming. And good morning, Brian. And happy International Women's Day to all the lovely ladies. I was going to play a video where Justin Trudeau was talking about International Women's Day the other day and some of the interesting inflections in his voice and things that he said that are interesting. Debbie, good morning with a smiley emoji. And so Brian's saying he's available if you're not available at any particular time to jump on. So thank you very much for that.
Brian, come join the conversation anytime.
Chris, good morning to you. An easy way for the public to push back on these camera tickets is to choose to challenge every single ticket in court. Theoretically, this would rapidly eat up limited court time and encourage the reviewing officers to only pursue the more aggressive or egregious offenses and pursue enforcement on those actually putting the community at risk, like speeding, not going 10 over or whatever.
Yeah.
And opposed to those barely doing the speed limit at all.
Well,
Thanks, Chris, for that. That makes so much sense.
I think I already talked about this, but my girlfriend's dad died in a car accident because the guy ran a red light and hit her, and he didn't get his license taken away. Nothing happened. They
Wow.
waited till court a year later. A year later, he goes to court. He loses his license for 5 months. I was going 40, 50 over on a rural road on my way to church. Nobody was injured, and they impounded my car right there, right then.
Because of
And
the
it's
amount of speed. Yeah, they just have this
Right,
thing
but
while going so
I thought it was like
yeah.
you're guilty till you're
Innocent till proven guilty, for sure.
Yeah.
You would hope. You would think, no, all laws, they don't all make sense. It's not a
I
perfect
just mean,
world.
like, sometimes the laws for regular people, like, not that big of a deal, are way worse than someone who's, like, dealing drugs while he's back on the road, and his court case is in, like, 8 months, and, well, this guy has all these different,
infractions or
infractions,
convictions. Yep. Vin, good morning. Thanks for being on with us. Much appreciated. Good morning. Oh,
Aaron,
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just talking all over the place. It's what happens when you wake up late and you didn't have any sleep. Marianne was talking about Palestinians are fighting at the international level for the right to self-determination because Israel is doing a mass genocide on them. I have no clue. It's so confusing.
It is. And it's meant to be like that too. because it's meant to stir everyone up. So it's already complicated to begin with. That whole situation is very layered, very complicated, and it's meant to be like that.
Yeah, like who's doing the genocide? I don't care what happened to you. Nobody has the right to kill.
No, and again, there's blood on both sides and on both
Yeah.
hands. There really is at the end of the day. It's like two people fighting and then trying to figure out who's responsible for it.
Yeah.
Now, there's one guy who's bigger. He knows karate, and the other guy doesn't, but the other guy's got rocks that he's throwing at the other guy's face. And so that's what I mean. It gets layered like that. So you
Right.
can always say, yeah, but Israel's a country and Israel's got the weapons and they're the powerful. And then, so, Palestinians are the victims, but there's also things with the Palestinians as well, and that we don't understand the full story, all of the history and everything.
And who
It's very later,
controls
very
the
layered and
media?
very complicated. And then the media, the way that they
The
present
Jews.
the
The Jews
information.
own the media pretty much.
Well, it's been historically a good chunk of them have been.
So you're fighting against the
involved.
Jews who own like Hollywood, who own pretty much the world. I don't know.
Yeah, and
I'm like pro-Jew because I'm pro-Jesus, so I'm a bit conflicted. I'm supposed to
Yeah.
love his people, but like not people who are gonna be hypocrites.
Complicated and layered again, because
Yeah.
people are complicated and layered, and it's
Yeah.
not. There's no black and white to this. And when we say Jews aren't really organized into a one. They don't have a leader, let's say. Well, they have a leader of a country, Israel, but that's not the leader of the Jews per se. Jews are kind of like a
Yeah, the
religion, and it's not even one religion. There's many sects. There's many different
It's true.
beliefs within there. There's ones that
Zionist.
there's all kinds. There's
Yeah.
thousands of different types of Jewish people. So there's not just one. There's different sects and different factions. And
There's now even Jewish
complicated.
people who believe in Jesus and they're called something,
exactly,
but they still
right?
call themselves Jews.
Yeah, like I mean, I did my family history and I come from that as well. So am I a Jew? Well, not necessarily, but I do have heritage from there, and I you know what I mean? So it's complicated. It's a belief system, but what belief system is it? There's many different ones and interpretations. Anyways, so yeah, it's complicated. How about that? You know how when people put their relationships up on Facebook. Denise, good morning, everyone. Randy, thanks for being on. Good morning as well. 8 years of Justin Trudeau. I keep hearing that from from Pierre Polyev. After 8 years of Justin Trudeau, let's look at our country the way it is. So thanks for that comment as well. Distractions, lots of distractions in the media.
Yeah.
Bob's Knob. Good morning, Bob's Knob.
Morning.
From YouTube. Thanks for being on, Bob's Knob. And all kinds of good comments here. It's just that there's a lot of comments, and I want to get to the people that are just kind of morning shout-outs. Monique.
Oh, Monique. She thinks Jesus is the son and isn't coming back.
Yeah. No, we went through that the day before you came on. So yeah,
okay. Well, Monique, you're wrong. Sorry.
Well, we talked about
Jesus is not the son.
Well, we talked about how Constantine and different religions or whatever then amalgamated a lot of religion that they had at the time into Christianity, and the son. And again, that's on purpose as well.
Jesus was here and he created a church on the earth. And there were people who saw him and they saw him get resurrected. So you can't change that. And you're connected to him. So you could just pray about it if you really want to know. But anyway.
Well, it does. And that's why I was thinking about this morning. And then hopefully we don't stick to the topic all that long. But, a lot of people say false prophets and false this and false that. Okay. And that is true. And
that means there would be real prophets.
So that's where I go in my mind. I'm like, okay, if there's a false prophet, many false prophets, could there...
No, there have to be.
Is it possible even let's just go to this. Is it possible? Is there a chance there could have been a real prophet, or at least one real prophet? So first of all, if you don't believe in God, well, this conversation isn't even worth it anyways. But if you do.
But even if you're not even open to the fact of how this beautiful world was created that's in this vacuum, the chances of all this even happening by accident is actually impossible. There's nothing that makes sense there. Like even Einstein, the more you go into science, Einstein's like, there has to be a God. Nothing makes sense. Anyway.
The chances. So I'm taking data analysis and in my master's right now, and it's blowing my mind, and I'm only getting the fundamentals of it. It's huge. I'm learning everything there is to know in a month. However, when you talk about statistics and data, if you look at the chances that this all just happened by itself, it's like one in a just eternity of zeros that this could have just happened all on its own without an intelligence behind it. Anyways, okay.
I have a painting. So therefore there's a painter. There's
Possibly.
a building. Therefore, no, there is. There's a building. There's a builder.
But is there a chance that painting could have painted itself?
Now you're insane, Aaron. You're actually insane. Okay.
Could the building have built itself, though? Really?
No.
Is there what are the chances of a building building itself?
No, we're not in that reality.
One out of
Zero.
what?
Zero.
So there's zero chance?
Zero chances of that happening.
Well, it's probably one out of something.
No.
That's the way statistics
What's going on here? No.
And data works, right?
No. Zero.
But this is the
0.00000 that the building built itself.
But
because who's itself? Who's the self?
No, I know, but watch this. So you take one thing, a building, but that's one thing. Now, what about the building next to it? And the building next to that? And
I'm just saying, exactly.
The 20 buildings, what's the chances of all those buildings building themselves? Like, I mean, it keeps getting even more and more to the point. It gets to zero.
Exactly.
In common sense.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you look at a frog and you think, oh, one little frog. Did that just come into existence? How did that come into existence? Oh,
it was created.
Go back to the Big Bang, right? It was just something came out of nothing. Like just
right.
It just kind of exploded. It's like taking a puzzle.
I know has never created order. Never in history have any data of an accident creating order.
So if you take a puzzle, like a big, those table puzzles we love sitting down at grandma's and doing, and you take the box of the puzzle and you just throw it up in the air, and the chances of that puzzle is going to fall down on the table and all the pieces are going to go into place. That's kind of like
that's
the same
happened to me
idea.
every time I do a puzzle.
So what you would do in the world of data or statistics is throw it up in the air 100 times and see how many times
my Nick says
it would land in place.
Dig deeper, sweet and Nick. I'm like, my Nick, you're pointing the finger. 3 fingers are pointing at yourself. My Nick, I agree. You should dig deeper. This is the thing, Aaron. She said religion is used to control. You're right.
It is.
That's human.
We acknowledge that on whatever show it was, Monday.
That's humans. Humans do that, but you can't remove the power of God. 99.9% of religions has been used to control people. 100%. I hate religion.
Yep.
But that doesn't remove God's power.
And the fact that there could be a true
and we've been misled
things,
here,
right?
And there's deception and manipulation happening here by a force.
For sure.
Like all these people that we look up to, not a lot, but most of them, they do rituals. They like hail to Satan. Like they are demonic. They're into demonic things. And that's when you start deep diving in that, like these not reality TV, but these Hollywood stars, like they believe in Satan. Like Satan's a real thing. So then that's when you're like, whoa, the darkness. Like there's anyway.
And you're talking about something that is very documented. All you have to do is Google where your favorite pop star.
They drink blood.
Yeah, your favorite pop star comes right out and says, "I've sold my soul to Satan."
When you see 100 of them in a video,
for sure.
Yes.
Many of them have.
Yeah,
sure.
And they're serious, and everyone's like, but that's what Satan does. He's just in your face, and he's like, I'm so in your face that you're like, this is a joke. Yeah. He's like, no, this is not a joke.
So why would they do that, and why would they get fame and whatever if that particular part of things didn't work? And why would they all be saying they did that, and then they're all famous and they're all getting all these movie contracts or getting these, the #1 song on Spotify or whatever, right?
But I bet you
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, no, keep going.
No, I'm just saying it alludes to at least
Overnight.
they believe it, and
Yes.
it's so rampant. There's thousands of them out there that are documented saying that they've done this. You just take one, Eminem. So he actually goes through the story. He's alone in his room. He wants to be famous. He says, "I'll sell my soul," and then boom, all of a
Boom.
sudden someone appears and says, "Oh, really? You do?" And even in the
Yeah.
Elvis movie, the new Elvis movie, they kind of allude to that where he's with Colonel whatever his name is there, his manager for years. And they go on the Ferris wheel and he says, "What are you willing to
Yeah.
do to be famous?" kind of thing. And
Yeah.
they kind of allude to that kind of thing. And it goes right back to Robert Johnson on the Crossroads. The guy was a terrible guitar player. This is documented. Most worst guitar player. He would show up at jams and try and play. Everyone's like, "Get this guy out of here. He sucks." And legend has it, he was at the Crossroads and he sold his soul. He said he sold his soul. And then all of a sudden he comes back a month later or 2 months later after he couldn't play a lick for his life. And these musicians that have been playing their whole lives and they're the best musicians of the time say this guy was playing circles around them on guitar. He was the best guitar player they've ever heard in their whole lives after like a month or two.
Right.
And that's where it goes back to. And I know Cream.
It's a
did a
story
song
over,
called
over,
Crossroads.
over. Yeah. They'll even talk about it. They talk about it.
They come right out. Like Bob Dylan. Look, search Bob Dylan, and he talks about the chief commander. He calls him the chief commander. He says, "Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep touring? Why do you keep recording? Why aren't you retired? You're an old guy." He goes, "He has to. He has to keep up his end of the bargain to the chief
Right.
commander." You know?
Well,
So again, they
no,
come right out
I
and
agree.
say it. So again,
mean-
if that side is true, and so if there is a dark side and there is a whatever, and they're selling their souls to these dark side, then that alludes to something, like a positive, negative charge on a battery.
Well, there's
You
a
kinda need the
opposite of
two
everything.
kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's that kind of,
Just go into
evidence.
nature and see how beautiful it is and how perfect, and it just takes what it needs. Like, how was that ever created on its own? Like you just go
Yeah.
in nature and you'll see God. God is everywhere, but God is not human. So
So the thing again, right? And we love having these conversations and we have such a great community here that we're able to have these conversations.
okay, so my Nick does agree. Sorry, my Nick says all inverted. The music industry is satanic, as is Hollywood, but she doesn't believe in a God. So that to me, my Nick makes no sense. And by the way, my Nick, this is a great conversation. Like, I don't know you as a person. I know you're a person. So I don't want to insult you in any way, because this is something that people really actually think. So sorry if I'm coming off like, duh.
It's a very common belief. So it's not like, it's these
good for the
days
show.
it's more uncommon to believe in God and
For sure. But so how
whatever,
can you
right? So-
believe in Satan and not believe in the story of Satan?
Mhm.
That was documented a long time ago.
And I think if she said everything is inverted, well, what does verted mean then? Like if it's inverted, meaning
So someone inverted it.
So what is it opposite to? Like what
Right.
would be the ideal, right? Like if it's inverted, why is there an organized effort, a concerted effort that's organized to invert something? So if something is being inverted, they're inverting something. They're
Exactly.
corrupting something.
Corrupting something.
They're blaspheming something. If you look at that, what's that singer there? The kind of, he's a little bigger, and he was doing that performance at the Grammys where he dressed up like the devil.
Oh, that
Did you
guy.
see
Yeah,
that guy?
yeah. Little something.
No. He's like a soul singer kind of guy, British, I
Oh.
think. Anyways, he dressed up like Satan and did a ritual on the Grammys kind of thing, and that was again right. That's on purpose. That's in your face, and there's validity there. So there's what it's like when I see my parents smoking as a kid. I say to myself, I'm not going to smoke when I grow up. because I'm seeing the opposite. So by seeing someone doing something bad, let's say, to them health
Yeah.
wise, and seeing the effects of it, I go, oh, okay, I see the bad. I don't want to do that. Right. So it's kind of like evil showing itself kind of proves some good in some ways. It's like,
For
what is
sure.
this? What's going on here? Why are they doing that? You know, well, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it to mock. You know, I even heard the Rolling Stones logo with the tongue. It's basically
Okay.
mocking, like sticking your tongue out at God kind of thing.
Oh,
And you know how all the celebrities do that? They stick their tongue out. That's part of that. It's a kind of a thing. It's
Yeah,
it's
we're
not
gonna
just,
get you guys to eat bugs. You bunch of weirdos, you know?
yeah, it's not on accident or whatever. It's a thing. It's like mocking
It's definitely a thing.
kind of thing and whatever. So I have a story of a particular modern day apostle on a plane with Mick Jagger.
Yes.
And I think I told you that, right?
Yeah.
And he said, he introduced himself. He goes, I believe in God and I devote my whole life to God and his purpose. And Mick Jagger said, I devote my whole life to the opposite. I'm here to get as many people to go against that as possible. And our music is designed to make young kids rebel and have sex. That's all he said. That's what we're about. We want young kids to rebel and have sex. That's my number one priority in life. That was an interesting conversation anyway.
Yeah, I bet. And he was just saying he was someone high up in Hollywood, well, you know, the music industry. So Monique said that she said something like, if you think Jesus existed, then Muhammad existed. Muhammad probably did exist.
Well,
but
he did. He did exist for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
The question is,
historically, he did. Yeah. There's no
where
doubt
is
about
he buried, Monique? He's actually buried in the ground. Jesus doesn't have a burial.
it. Okay.
He resurrected.
That's true. Now, this is the
So
thing, though.
I'm just saying, this is a fact, actually. This is a fact.
But
He
you
has
can't-
no burial.
But you can't prove it by saying it because you can't.
No,
just
but you
prove
can go
that
out and
by
look.
saying it.
Well, he has no burial.
No,
Does
I
Jesus
understand
have a
it.
burial
No, I understand that, but there's a lot of
in the world?
There's a lot of historical figures that have come and died, and we don't know where they're buried. Like they're just are.
Right. But are
can't-
they even,
you can't
do
prove-
people think, sorry, I know what you're saying. Do they
Yeah.
think that they were resurrected? They just don't know where they were buried.
No. So we know that there was a claim, whether it's true or not, right? It's up to individuals to find out, just like anything in life, whether something is true or not. But that doesn't prove it, the fact that we can't find a grave, because there's many historical figures we can't find their graves. We don't know where
do people think, was there any people saying that these people have resurrected? What I'm saying is there's a story. And the story of
for
Jesus
sure.
is that people saw that he resurrected. So then the story lines up where these other people, these other prophets, like I don't know where Moses is buried, but nobody's saying that Moses resurrected, is what I'm trying to say. Kind of.
It's a very deep conversation for sure.
Okay, we'll have another one of these because we probably should get to the news. We have like 8 minutes. But there's a really good movie that people should watch. It's called A Case for Christ. And it's an atheist trying to prove his wife that Jesus doesn't exist. And he's a journalist. And he goes to make a case that Jesus doesn't exist. It's a great movie. It's on YouTube. Case for Christ.
Yeah,
I will bear my testimony right now that Jesus Christ lives. He is the King of all kings. And if you get to know him, you will bring so much more joy and peace in your life. Thank you.
And that's what I appreciate about you, Nick. You're very open and able to just say things unadulterated, no filter. And you're getting a Nick right here. You're just getting a Nick doesn't hide anything. She doesn't try and sugarcoat anything. And I know, if anyone's offended, there's no reason to be. She's not out to offend anybody at all.
We're just having a conversation.
She really, truly does care about everybody and, loves everybody.
Salvation.
I know that for sure. And again, people, I respect other people's views as well. If you believe a certain thing, it is what it is again. Right. But the idea of having a conversation and sharing your side, and again, we have a little bit of an advantage because we're talking, right? And then other people are texting. So it's a little hard to have, you know, a an equal conversation coming from two different perspectives on this platform for sure. But definitely, it's up to each and every one of us to do our own research, as we know, anyways. Just like the things we're trying to make sense of this world, and if you go
Also,
deeper, there is a spiritual aspect to the world as
for
well.
sure. And you
Mhm.
like thoughts become things. So
Mhm.
you can live in a completely different reality than me, but you can't change truth. So in your life, you might not see God. You may not see Satan. You may not feel these things because you're not opening up yourself to that. But like north is north, you can't change north. It's just a fact, it's just a truth. But you can't change truth. So everybody can't we can't all have our truth. So someone is right, and I'm okay with being wrong, but I know I'm not wrong.
Okay, that's a funny statement to say. You know, well, that's the thing. Once, okay,
And we'll all find out eventually, Aaron. We're all
yeah,
going to find out.
it's similar to like the whole put your hand on the stove. You've been told it burns you as a kid. Don't put your hand on the stove when we're cooking. And sometimes some kids they'll just listen to their parents and they go, okay, I believe you. I will not do that. But other kids, they go, I don't know. I'm gonna find out for myself whether
Yeah.
that stove is hot or not. Well, the thing is, the one that had to find out for themselves, there's somewhat of an advantage there because
Yes.
there's a true knowledge of that experience they had when they put their hand on that stove. And they know for sure. Like the other ones would know because they trust it, and that's good too. If you trust good sources that care about you and are going to save you from danger. But the one child that put their hand on the stove, they actually know that stove is hot now. And they can even tell their friends, I put my hand on that stove. It burned my hand. They know. And what if another kid says, you don't know for sure?
Yep.
My mom told me too, but you don't know. Well, yeah, of course. There comes a point where belief and knowledge are two different things, right? Like you do sometimes know something, and things can be known, even spiritual things. And it's
That
hard
yes, yes.
sometimes explaining it to somebody
Yes.
who may not have experienced something, and that's okay. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with that. But like you
But we
said,
have to believe in things that aren't true, that aren't like you can't see it because there's tons of molecules right now, but you can't see it.
well, air is one example of that, right?
Wi-Fi, you can't see Wi-Fi, it's
But it
real
works.
and it works. Love is real, but you can't see it.
Air.
You can't see it.
You're breathing air,
So there's a whole world
you
we
know,
don't see.
kind of thing, right? And again, and I know we have a very mature group on here that
We
are
do. We have a really good group.
used to having conversations like this. So really appreciate everyone. But I'd like to just, if anyone can do a favor for us, is go on our Facebook page. We've shared the story of the 6 cameras, their locations where they're going to be going in the city, and that they're going to be operational by March 22nd. If you can go on there and share the heck out of it, just so people know. Now, it's been talked about for a long time, but people have seen those signs.
Right.
And I just want everyone to at least know that they're going to be operational on the 22nd. It's just like a public service to everybody.
Yeah, announcement.
It's a story from Sudbury Star shared it March the 6th, so the day before yesterday. It's a 2-minute read. You can go right to the Sudbury Star, but I shared a portion of it just to get the word out there on Facebook. So, but I guess that takes us to the end of the show. Thanks, Nick.
Sorry for kiboshing your show today.
And Nick, we really appreciate you.
Yeah, we
points
do.
of view. It's not a an adversarial thing whatsoever. Life is a journey, and we're here to learn and here to understand, and we're all in it together, as they say.
And we should all be able to have these conversations and just end in a hug. Like if you like a hug, Nick, I would totally hug you and be like, hey, cool. Like I love this conversation. We should be able to have these conversations without getting offended. I feel like if someone tells me something and I get offended, well, that means my belief system isn't that strong because it's a choice for me to get offended.
Yeah,
We need,
offended.
like the
Yeah.
world, we're all offending everybody. It's all a choice, man. We need thicker skin.
Laugh at ourselves in some ways or whatever. It's all a journey. We're all learning different things at different times and whatever. We're all in it together. We're learning together. So a cyber hug. There's a cyber hug here. We just
Yes, to everybody.
embraced cyber hugs, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Is it going to rain tomorrow?
It's there's a statement, a weather statement, that there's going to be a lot of rain tonight into tomorrow, turning into snow in higher elevated areas.
What?
Higher elevated areas. So if you're in a mountain or, a high level, you'll get some snow too tomorrow.
Okay.
But if not, mostly rain. So take care, everyone. Feeling the love on the show. We didn't really get to any headlines, but we did have a
go
conversation.
share that camera article. We have to let everyone know.
For sure. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Stay dry. Stay warm. We'll see you same time, same place. Hopefully on CKLU on Monday, if everything can get back up and running. Have a great weekend.
I'll be here on Monday.
Perfect. Oh, great. We'll see you, Nick, as well on Monday. Take care, everyone. Ciao.
Bye.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.